how'd you like your response?
Great. Great. You know, and I liked kind of started the second half the other night. I liked our response. We dug a big hole. You know, Michigan had played, well, they kind of shot out of their mind. They hit some terrific shots in the first half, some tough NBA guarded shots. But having said that, you know, we couldn't afford to have many breakdowns, and we had just enough breakdowns to turn those tough shots into a big deficit where we didn't have to. Now, I love the way we respond the second half. We're diving on the floor. We're chasing down rebounds. We're not having a good night offensively. We're not shooting the ball, but we fought till the end. I love that. Thought that said a lot about this group. Came home Sunday, and then Sunday night we practiced, and probably practiced with as much energy. And they practice hard normally, don't get me wrong, but they really turned it up the other night and yesterday as well. So I'm not surprised we came out and played this way, but really appreciate, you know, their character, their resolve. They obviously, this is pretty important to them. Didn't put their head down, didn't feel sorry for themselves. They just came out and played more of the brand of basketball that we're accustomed to and that we hang our hat on.
How much of the regrouping effort was you and your coaching staff, and how much was the players regrouping themselves?
Yeah, it's always a hard call because you don't always know exactly what they're talking about when you're not there. So sometimes you worry about that. No, but you know, it's a group thing. We talked a lot about that game, and you hear me say all the time, I think it's so important to turn negatives into positives. I just do. I just think that, you know, when you have a bad night, you got to turn that into a good night coming. And when you got adversity, you got to find good in it and find a way that you're gonna find your way out of it. And I just think that's character, and I think those are what competitors do. And so, you know, it gives us a chance to talk. I always think that you talk more after losses. There's more to learn after losses than there are wins. But I don't know. I feel like it's pretty important to these guys. They've been through a lot over the last few years, and you know, at the same time, I think people forget this isn't like a total experienced team back. We have 4 guys total back from 4 total players from last year, you know, and 3 freshmen added to that, and 2 guys that were sitting here watching. And so, you know, I got to give them a lot of credit because I think they've really learned to play with each other and care about each other in a short period of time when really they're not like a group that's been, you know, meshing for 2 years. You know, like for a while we kind of had a whole bunch of the same guys, and now, you know, we're a little bit of a starting over mode, and I give them a lot of credit. I really do. I give a lot of them a lot of credit. And I also, on a different note, I want to say this, that I think Santa Barbara has some outstanding guards. I think Childress and Vincent are very, very talented, very hard to guard. And the lion's share of the defense on them was Sterling and Jure, and I thought they did an outstanding job, not by themselves, but just some tremendous effort by them. I love it when I see guys take a challenge and really try to make a guy have a tough night. So, you know, Vincent goes 2 for 10, 7 for 19. That's good defense. That's a guy crawling up into him, and so I felt very good about that as well.
One of the guys that was sitting here watching last year, Shemi Ojale, 22 points, 8 for 11. His stat line looks great. Did he look as good to you as he looked on paper and looked to us?
Yes. In a word. How's that for a word? He's just a heck of a player. You know, he's a hard matchup, and he has done such a good job since he got here. You know, you look at his body and you think, well, he's a natural post player, and the truth is, he told me, you know, last year we'd work on him on the post, and he looked so awkward and everything, and I was like, Shimmy, why don't you just use your body? He said, Coach, I've never put my back on, you know, I've never played with my back to the basket in my life. And now you look at him now, and he's got a post game. He's got a lot of post game. He's got a post game. He's got a great 3. He can drive the ball. He can go rebound the ball. There are times when he could rebound the ball more aggressively because he's still, I think, you know, when he was coming in out of high school, he's from my home state, and I just think he's thought of himself the way he saw the game, the way he played the game. He was a guard, and he shot, and he scored a lot of points. But we're trying to help him realize what there is. Just he's on a tip of the iceberg of a stat sheet stuffer that he can be. And, I think he's averaged 9 or so rebounds this year, if I'm not mistaken. So he's been averaging 20 and 9 or 10. And I think he's capable of those numbers. Not as many tonight, but he'll have another big night. But I'm never surprised by what he does. And, again, broken record for me, but nobody's working harder off the court. Nobody puts more time. That guy is driven like you can't believe.
Coach, you've been up against the zone for a lot of minutes here in these recent games, including tonight. How do you think the guys are combating that, and are you making any adjustments in practice for if you're going to see it going forward?
We have seen more zone in 5 games than we probably would see in 15 the last few years. I don't know if this is just the luck of the schedule, coincidental, or if it's what's going on in college basketball, or if people are just afraid to match up with us, because we are a little tricky to match up with because Shimmy and Ben are not traditional big guys. So maybe it's that, but we knew way back. I'll tell you, the Eastern Michigan game did us a lot of good because I had watched film, and Eastern Michigan played a great zone last year and won some big games and had everybody back. And so we spent an inordinate amount of time attacking zone. Our zone offense is way ahead of where most teams are. So if you're asking me, I'm thrilled where our zone are. I feel so comfortable. We have a lot of stuff in. We have a lot of different ways to attack you in a zone. We have a lot of ways to attack each zone. That was a 3-2 tonight. We played against a 2-3. We'll play against 1-3-1s. We know what we're doing, and we've practiced it a lot. So we're all very comfortable with that. Anyone that's tried to do it has really failed, really. We've kind of had our way. Maybe a short little period in the Pitt game because, they shifted gears. Pitt was switching 5 on everything man-to-man, which you don't see very often. That took some work, and so we prepared for that. But I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable either way. I think whatever they throw at us, I think we have some answers as long as we're executing, playing well, and sharing the ball.
Coach, Shemi got their big men locked you to foul out in just 9 minutes. How much of an asset is that if he can constantly get those big guys in foul?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Guys that draw. Here's a statistic people don't put near enough stock in, is people that draw a lot of fouls. Because if you think about it, first of all, points per possession, free throws are right up there, okay? It's hard to beat free throws for points per possession. It's a great thing. It also puts you closer to the bonus, so your other guys get to shoot free throws, and it also gets guys out of the game. So when you got guys that draw lots of fouls, that's a value that's more than just the points he goes and scores 1 or 2 at the line. Ryan Manuel was one of those guys for us. Ryan could just get fouled, and nobody could stay in front of him. And I love guys that can do that because I think that's a tremendous weapon. I don't like playing against those kind of guys. They scare me.
Your starters got 66 of your 84 points tonight. What did you think of your bench?
I thought they did very well, and I think that's going to happen a lot of times because our starters are our experienced players. They're the ones with the most confidence, and they're very good players, and our young players are certainly coming along. Benny Malagu, I think, is like a starter, although he's, had a little struggle shooting the ball for a while, but he's such a good shooter. So we have the 6 guys that, that you feel like several of them are going to be productive every night, and then the 3 freshmen are really coming along, and I'm pleased. Here's another thing: it's not easy to just game 3 and 4 to be in Madison Square Garden playing 2 NCAA teams and just throw your freshmen out there for maximum minutes. It's not easy to do that. Or at least for most coaches, it's not. And the more minutes we can get them, the more, it's going to be a stair step. They get a few more minutes. They play well, they'll get more minutes. The better they play, the more minutes they get. And we need them all. We need all 9 guys. That's all we got on scholarship. Jonathan, I think, is a guy that can help us as well. But we do need the freshmen to get more time. We need him to get more confident. We need him to get more awareness and all the things that go into being a good player. But I do see them all coming along. I do see positive things from each and every one of them. And the more they're out there, the more they're going to get comfortable.